All right, we're live. That's we don't have Dave, so normally we lean on him for our weekly terrible joke. And I think this week I have one.
Oh, lay it on
Wait,
us, man.
well, so cigarettes and squirrels actually have something in common, and a lot of people just don't really consider this. But cigarettes are actually fairly harmless, like squirrels, until you put it in your mouth and light one on fire. Oh, that's a groaner. That's a groaner. I'm just gonna go ahead and
Let's
roll that footage.
Fab Studios presents Figure Action. That one's me.
All right, it's Thursday. It's 9:00, and we are Figure Action. We're a collector's podcast, and if you're just tuning in, thank you. We wouldn't be able to do this without all of you awesome folks who tune in each and every week. I'm your host, ExtraZero. It's great to see y'all. We got a bunch of cool people in the chat. We'll be highlighting you all throughout the course of the show. So if you're watching us here live on YouTube, do us a favor, smack that like button because it helps us out in the algorithm. And Jonathan Walker, we got some Dave jokes without Dave being here. Hey, put your best dad jokes in the chat if you got them. So if you're not already subscribed, maybe consider making today the day that you subscribe to the Figure Action channel. Ring that notification bell when you're at it, because we do oftentimes come out with bonus and additional commentary and content. And also check the link in the description below to our Teespring store. We've got some of the best priced podcast shirts out there. You're going to look good. You're going to help out our channel. And if you're watching us here on the replay, again, same deal. Hit that like button, ring that notification bell, subscribe button, and leave us a comment. I do check the comments. If anybody watches us on the replay, we're getting closer and closer to being monetized on this channel. So thank you to everybody who tunes in and supports us. Really appreciate it. So yeah, let's get into it. We got quite a bit to talk about. You saw our thumbnail. You know where we're going with this. So I'm curious what the chat's going to think about it. But before we get into that, Mike, how are you doing? And did you pick up anything cool this week?
Well, hello, everyone. It's been a very good week between just real life, and the YouTube gods have been very gracious to me, and all it took was me to put a video talking about head and getting it. So yeah, just having a blast. I'm actually been excited lately with getting some content out. It's just been a lot of really good things coming in. Speaking of which, it's been quiet. Yeah. Thank you, McLaurin. That is the one downside, but I have a fix. I have a fix for it. In the video, I actually lost the head off of one of my Valiverse troop builders. The neck peg broke. So, but anyway, stuff that came in this week, really light because it's only two things, which is shocking. One, I closed out getting my one of each of Series 4 by getting this guy, which is the Urban Commando. The weapon is not the normal one, but that is from an Etsy store called Arsenal of Pew Pews. They make really awesome 3D printed weapons. So I'll be talking about them very soon, because this is all painted, and this is a Scar H with a silencer on. Just looks really, really awesome, and it fits classified Valiverse like a glove. It's awesome. So I'm going to be finishing up my impressions of that tonight. And secondly, tonight, because I saw something on the internet that was not about head, but actually was about head. I picked up a Scare Glow for the lovely price of $7, because I saw someone take the glow-in-the-dark head and put it on, this is probably going to bleed out, one of the Swarm Tracers. So I'm going to see if this Scare Glow will Vala, and check that, do something about that. But that's it, man. I mean, I'm really
Do it
humbled because I had a lot of subscribers this week because of the content. Hopefully, it's the quality, not just the topic. So if any individual is on here, welcome.
How
And
many
thank you
more
very much.
subscribers do you need? Sorry. How many more do you need to get 500?
Let me check here. I want to say I am 26 away from 500, which is
of you in the audience right now aren't subscribed.
30 more than I had about 30 to 48 hours ago.
Yep, you're
So it's
473
been a really
right
good,
now.
good week. I feel really happy. So, yeah, but that's it, man. So what about you, T? How are you doing, and what'd you get?
I am awesome-tacular. What I got was a tooth infection, so my face is probably bigger on one side. But I got some also teeth removed. But I'm also using a new phone. So normally when I would do this, the figure would be all blurry, but right now it's like you can see it the whole time, at least on my screen. I don't know what y'all are saying.
Yeah, it looks really clear, man. Everything looks good.
I really love that. Like normally I would have to go all like this and it still would never focus, but it's focusing. And outside of that, let me see, I'm gonna have to try to turn the camera around if I can. To back. And not close out the show.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
The wide screen, but I got this extreme set backdrop right here, this castle. You know what? Let me
It's really cool, man.
let me change the camera again to a more normal camera if I can. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, but it's YouTube quality or StreamYard's quality. I finally opened Sunman and reviewed them. I figured it's February. I might as well finally review him. But this is cool. I did a review on this if you want to see all about it. I have this casket that's actually openable. And there's some pillars and whatnot that you can fill out this with. But look at my video and you'll see everything. But that backdrop
Absolutely.
and my phone and dentist bill is all I got. Oh, wait. And these. I got 3 of these things that can act like Hall of Armor pieces where you can put Iron Man armors in there. Or you could put anything in there like Cobra Bats or clone troopers or people you want to act like a clone trooper. But yeah, there we go. How about you, ExtraZero? How are you?
Pretty good. I spent a good portion of my day barbecuing, so I've got a brisket resting in the oven now. So as soon as the show ends, I am going downstairs and I'm going to slice that up because I actually in the 2 years that I've been doing like all the barbecue stuff and smoking, I've actually never done a brisket. So really looking forward to seeing how that turned out. And it smelled good. And I tasted a little bit of the crust, and the crust was good. Other than that, things have been going good. I've got my birthday coming up next week, so excited about
awesome.
that. And I missed last week. I had a mishap with my computer. I was doing some tinkering on my PC, and I bent a few of the USB 3 pins on the motherboard. So that's on me. Thank God for Amazon's exchange policy. So I got a new motherboard, but like while the show was going on, I was reinstalling Windows and getting everything all set back up. Everything is good now, but I'm probably going to end up doing surgery on my machine again because I've determined that for my birthday, I want a new case, and I have a new case in mind, but I'll be extra careful. I'm just going to be transporting things from one case to another. I did get some cool stuff.
It's all that new muscle you got.
Yeah, basically. Well, it's funny you said that, but then when you saw me, you're like, dude, you're tiny. What happened?
Yeah, I was about to say you have a skinnier neck.
Yeah, no, it's no. Wait till you see me in person. It's nuts. I wasn't here last week, so hey, I was one of the cool kids. I got I don't have my green screen function on, so I'm having fun with that. But I don't have my green screen on for a reason. So I got the Fans Toys Scourge, and he's nice. I like him. I also Sony was kind enough to send me the X-Transbots, Andrus, their Scourge. So now I have my 2 sweeps. I wasn't going 3 on Fans Toys for 2 characters that are going to stand in the background. So pretty happy about that. As Dare 2727 says, this is indeed a very beautiful figure. I really like the sculpt. So it's nice kind of having the him and keeping the X-Transbots ones. I know a lot of people don't like the engineering on the X-Transbots feet, and I haven't had nice things to say about X-Transbots lately, but I will say the transformation on Andrus is really good, and outside of those over-engineered feet, or maybe they're under-engineered.
You have the second version or the first version?
I both. So Sony had the second version that he sent to me, and then I had the original in the baby blue. And I kind of like having my sweeps be different colors because it really makes them look like they're 3 different characters. Because I have 2 of the Fans Toys Elgos. I have the toy version and the toon version, and I differentiated them because the my Armada, if you will, doesn't have the goatee, but Cyclonus does. So I kind of like the fact that my sweeps are a slightly different sculpt and they're different colors. So it really makes them stand out on the shelf. They don't get kind of like lost in the background. They look like their own characters. And as ironically, as I'm getting lost in the background, I had turned my green screen off so I could show this guy off. And of course, wow, that really doesn't want to function. Let me just turn off virtual background for a second.
Work,
yeah. So we'll turn off virtual. See the magic of the internet. Now you can see. I got my my Takara Tomy hoist, and I like this figure. It's not for everybody. If you have the X-Transbots or you have the Fans Toys and you just want to hoist on your shelf, you're probably good. I am a Takara Tomy completionist, and I want the toon aesthetic. This guy is super toon aesthetic. Good things about him, the accessories. I think of all the hoists to come out, he has the best line of accessories, and this is how I have him displayed. Like, I actually like the fact that he can have this claw attachment on, and he can stand. He actually has really sturdy legs. I love the wrench that's chromed out. Of course, like Trailbreaker, you get the option for the toon or the chrome bumpers. I love the way they engineered his gun arm. I love the fact that it has an effects piece. He has the hammer that can plug into it. All around, I really like how he looks. The transformation's a lot of fun, with a couple caveats. This green plastic in spots, like there's some tolerance issues where you feel like, if I force this, am I going to break it? Initially, the early copies, there were some cracked hinges. Thankfully, my copy doesn't have them, though Amazon Japan, somebody sat on my box. So my box has a big crease in it, and the tray is a little bit broken. That's okay, but if I see somebody getting rid of their boxes, I will take them up on that box because, I like to keep all my boxes. I like to keep all that stuff in good condition. So it sucks having and Amazon Japan, Amazon Japan, you don't really get like the option.
You like a good box,
right? Exactly. I like having my stuff, as mint as possible. But like I said, transformation is a lot of fun. But these shoulder pylons, the way they plug in, it does not feel good. And also getting the trunk of the truck up doesn't feel good either. And then here, where this piece is, none of this feels good, and these are thin. So there's 3 spots on it that I'm like, yeah, this just doesn't feel all that great. And then point of contention with people, he does not have a waist. He has oddly engineered legs, but that's to make him very toon accurate. He can kick forward. Like I was debating this with Sony. And Sony's like, yeah, but he's got a single jointed knee, but she gets you past 90, and then they put this trick in here where you can actually kind of fake
you don't
it.
even need that.
Yeah. And then he also has a really big toe tilt. And then also the feet can go outward. You can get really good articulation out of the legs, but he can't kick back that far and he doesn't have a waist. But what they want you to do is use the thighs to fake the waist because he's got the big he's got like the the 1980s fat kid shorts going on. And then also,
how often is he going to be kicking his own ass? Really?
Well, exactly. He's an engineer character. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you want him with like hoist and some Constructicons, and they're building the space bridge. That's what you want. And then also Sony was saying like, wow, well, he's only got single jointed elbows, but the way they kept it super tune accurate. Like, he can get the full curl because like technically this is all an elbow, so it's single jointed, but he has two single joints to the arm.
I think in the cartoon he had those tube looking arms like Psycho.
Yeah. So you can get him to do, and the other thing too, I love how easy it is just to take this part off, and then you can just tuck it in, and the back cleans up. Once you get him in robot mode, he's also super, super stable. There's nothing floppy about this guy.
Sounds like a really good figure.
I personally enjoy it, but again, it's like if you already have the fans toys and you like it, if you have the X-Trans bots and you like it, hell, if you have the Bad Cube and you like it, you're fine. It's hoist. It's hoist. It just depends on like whether or not you want.
I don't agree on the X-Trans bots. I just sold it.
the X-Trans bots one.
It's a good figure.
The X-Trans bots one, I think, is the second best looking one next to the Dakar Tomy.
Look, different story.
I have stuff and things lately to say about X-Trans bots, but I think that they did really well with their hoist and their Trailbreaker, and I think that that's the second best. I have the fan. I'm keeping the fan.
Are you getting on Big Loot?
No. I'm waiting on the fans toys, and I'll see what MMC does. But I just need standalone bots for my Constructicons. So I'm torn. I'm probably going to go fans toys, but I'm keeping my Toy World. My Toy World Debbie is great. I love it. So,
All right, T. That's 2.
All right, let's do some shout outs. We got our chat's popping off. So if you're watching us here live, we got a bunch of cool people. We already have 30 people hanging out with us. So we got a conversation going on there. We'll be highlighting comments throughout the course of the show as we always do. So let's check out, see what chat's saying before we get in. We're gonna kick things off with the big news with the HasLab. So before we get into that, we got Toy Mafia coming in saying yo, and remembering our friend Nightwingham. Yeah, we miss Ed every day. Thank you for keeping his memory alive. We got McLowdery saying good evening all. Good evening to you, good sir. We got Aquateki saying greetings, good people. Greetings to you, good sir. We got our friend Mariana Shakan saying hello, gents. Nice to see Toy Mafia first in line. Yeah, it was nice to see him back in the front again. We got D-Bang75 saying hey, everyone. Hey to you. Mecha's Review saying hello, fellow collectors. Hello to you, good sir. We got, who's this guy? Junkie on Crafts and Builds. Yo, what's up, everyone? We got the Titan. Hail to the action crew. We've got Jonathan Walker coming in saying evening, everyone. Good evening to you. We've got Big M saying howdy, 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 and howdy to you. We got Jay Geeter saying what's up, y'all? What's up, Jay? Good to see you. Mariano coming in saying yes, groaner indeed. Yeah, we can't all do it like Dave. Dave gets the pass. We get Jedi Mindset saying, "Shut, folks. Good to see you, Jedi." Professor Soundwave saying, "Hello, everyone. Good to see you." Helios56 saying, "Yo." We've got Brian Swanson saying, "Happy Thursday, folks." Yes, it is. Very happy Thursday. I'm looking forward to this weekend. We got Halia saying, "A horse walks into a bar. The bartender says to the horse, 'Why the long face?'" There we go. There's a classic. We've got the man behind Third Party Unlimited. We got Antoine Lewis coming in, giving us sunglasses and peace emoji. Good to see you, Antoine. We've got, let's see, Mariana is saying the HasLab looks so good, but I don't like RID. I'm happy for those that do, but it's an easy pass for me. Yeah, I'm curious to see how my opinion with that goes. Let's see. Did I get everybody? Did I miss anybody? Then we have Dare hanging out in here. And I think we got Daryl B saying, haven't been here in a while. But wasn't Zero blonde? No, I've never been blonde.
He's been frosted.
Yeah, I've never been frosted either.
I thought you did.
Mm-mm. No, I mean back in the early, well, actually back in probably like 2008, I had my hair spiked, but I never frosted it.
That was me. I was blonde.
Oh, my bad. It was the mullet. All right, what we got, man?
All right, well, let's get into it. Let's talk
works.
about this because everybody is talking about this. So, HasLab, they revealed the Omega Prime. So this is, they had an event on the 30th, so just a few days ago, and this was the big HasLab for Transformers 40th anniversary. We go over to TFW. They've got a lot more pics here, so we'll go through their pictures. We'll go back to the HasLab and we'll talk about the backing. Their whole thing is kicking off 40 years with the power of a prime, and it's a recreation of the 2001 combined mode of Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime, or Fire Convoy, Omega Prime. One thing that is cool is Blue Bolts, which was Ultra Magnus's gun. They've given him a robot mode, which is neat. He never had that in the show. The original toy never had that.
Awesome. Beyond me.
I mean, yeah, they put in some extra effort there. I can appreciate that. Does Prime have a waist? I'm just looking at that now.
I believe he does. I know it folds up and he has that ab. He should have an ab crunch, to be honest. Unlike the original toy, when you pull the ab crunch out and his head sinks into the body, his head doesn't sink into the body.
Yeah. He looks fairly faithful to the original, even leaving the Japanese text. He was a Japanese fire truck.
Did the original toy? I meant to go downstairs and grab it, but did the original toy have a waist?
It did. The base, they're calling it the command center. I mean, this all looks very faithful to the original toy, and the original toy was very show accurate.
Yeah.
Like that was a thing that the Japanese cartoons were really good at was creating very show accurate figures. I will say the Ultra Magnus proportionally looks better than the original, but I'll say that for like Fire Convoy, I don't think that I think he looks kind of on par with the original, other than the fact that the robot mode has waffles in the hands now, which I do not like. You can see them there. The original does not have that. Super mode.
They gave him thicker thighs so he wouldn't look so crazy in combined mode.
No. Ultra Magnus, I do like the fact that they painted the head crest gold. I don't think the original had that on the at least on the North American release.
Then it looked like they slightly made his thighs a little bit longer than the original toy.
Yeah, I have to pull up the original figure. Just to.
The original had no thighs at all. They used to bug the crap out of me. And I wonder, do those shins bend in the middle? That would be awesome.
Yeah, pulling up a picture here. Let me.
Right there, you can see that he has an actual heel support. The original had like no heel; it just had a toe, from what I can remember.
Yeah, I got a picture up. Let me get that pulled up in another tab here real quick.
It was like trying to stand up a figure with stilts as legs.
So we can compare them now. I've got the original here. So yeah, the thighs on the original, they were very stubby, and he kind of had like the same sort of connector that would end up becoming the Combiner Wars connector.
Yeah. The main thing I remember looking at that original is the shoulders and the elbows were ball joints, and his arms used to be like spaghetti. They used to drive me up the wall.
There is less hollowness going on in the legs, because here it's just kind of like two flat pieces of plastic made up the legs. So I'll give them that. They also made the wings a lot more pronounced because here they're there, but they're not that pronounced. Now, granted, the original had rubber tires, didn't have die cast.
Yeah, I think they gave it soft PVC tires now, like they did for a beach cone.
Then you get blue bolts, and like I said, blue bolts does look pretty good. The handshake gimmick, that was how they combined originally, so it's cool to see that they kept that gimmick. Like they would shake hands and start combining. Hey, G Tony, good to see you, man. So definitely cool to see that they kept that gimmick. They kept the chrome going on here. And there you have it. Now let's get into some of the tiers. You get the they're calling it the Matrix Blade there, but I think it also was called the Omega Blade.
I wonder if Fortress Maximus can actually hold it.
It probably can, and that was the thing. Like in Robots in Disguise, and Robots in Disguise domestically never had. What was he? Was he called Grand Maximus? Yeah, and that was the thing. They reissued. It was a big deal back in 2001 because they reissued Fort Max as Grand Maximus, and he could hold the sword. And then this is like these unlocks, in my opinion, are very lame. They're doing these display stands, which they're reused pieces. As far as I can tell, not the bottoms, but the stand parts. That looks to be the same stand piece that comes with the Saurus, and maybe it's not, but it looks very similar. Like at least that part that slides in. But still, they're very basic. So they want 16,000 backers for both unlocks. Also, there's no sounds, no lights and sounds. I would have at least liked to have seen them retain the lights and sounds from at least one of my favorite things was like Fire Convoy was one of the first figures I ever imported. In fact, I created an eBay account. Actually, no, I created an eBay account for Big Convoy. So he was like one of the second figures I imported. But I remember like one of the things that I loved the most was that he had that like Super Fire Convoy. It was very, very, very over the top. And I love the way that the light bars lit up on the fire truck. And then on Ultra Magnus, Blue Bolts had lights and sounds, which again, they're not going to do here. And then when you combine them, he had specialty sounds because it actually had like indents on the top part where like you can see on the Omega Prime shot, like right there where Blue Bolts connects onto the shoulders. It would know that it was in, it was part of the combined mode. He'd say different stuff.
But now you have your memory.
I do.
And I still have the original toy.
Yeah. I also have the original, and I'm keeping it that way. So this is my big point of contention. I have 2 points of contention, and we're going to get into this. Yeah, they're big figures, but it's $250, and they're not really that much bigger than the originals, which retailed in 2001 for $39.99. Adjusted for inflation, that's $69 today. And I understand that Omega Prime was reissued in 2018, and he came in pretty expensive. I think we even talked about it on the show back then. So he was recently reissued with all the bells and whistles. So it's not like this is a figure that hasn't had recent availability. And I don't think this is a good choice for HasLab. And I'm a big Optimus Prime collector. The day that this was announced, everybody was tagging me and stuff. Oh, I'm gonna get this. Did you see this? And my response was no. This is a pass for me.
Oh, I am the opposite. As soon as I clicked on the live stream and saw the figure on the table, I was like filled with excitement. And then when they brought in the original toy and he was bigger than the original, and with all the little things, I know it's going to have way more improvements because today they make way better design choices as far as articulation and stability. That old toy was janky and
I don't think it
falling
was.
over.
I
You
think
could barely stand up in combined mode.
the combined mode, I'll say it does have, you know, its quirks, and it wasn't the most stable thing, but it would still stand. It didn't have the playability.
Yeah, dude, I would try my damnedest to pose it, but it was not happening.
Yeah.
And I did like the I
Yeah.
can't even remember what the sound.
And Lance is right here. It's a safe choice, but I don't think that was. I don't think HasLab should ever be a safe choice.
And as far as the price, like whether we want it to be the price of 2001 or not, they already years ago, when they reissued the mold that was third, that was way over $100 by itself.
Yeah. Well,
And by today's standards, those figures are commander class, unfortunately.
Well, I'm curious what G Tony means here. You're saying that Deathsaurus was definitely not a HasLab, because I disagree. I think Deathsaurus was a great choice for HasLab because it's a character that most Americans don't have any connection to. You know, it's very. If Dave were here, he'd probably agree and say that, you know, watching Victory is rough. You know, subbed or dubbed. It's not. You know,
I only could get through the first two. I started watching on TV.
Yeah. And like Star Saber made sense too. I think, and it's interesting too, because when Star Saber, when they announced that, like, oh, it's a HasLab, but we're also going to sell it through the Takara Tomy Mall, people were a little upset about that. And I also think this is a bad choice for a HasLab because, like, you know, I was 14 when Robots in Disguise came out, at least when it came out domestically. So it was 2001. Actually, no, I was 16 when that came out. Yeah. So yeah, I was 16 when that came out. And I've been a Transformers fan my whole life. And I watched that cartoon. And the thing is back then, you know, I'm not going to derail this, but 9/11 happened obviously in 2001. And that was like one of the breaks that you had. Like everything on TV was 9/11 terror, you know, gloom and doom. And I looked forward to watching Robots in Disguise because it was an escape from all that. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, and that was the case. They have fond memories of the show, and there are people of age that have disposable incomes. And I want to know why do they view this as something they have to do through HasLab when they're releasing Magmatron, which is a very obscure character that has no connection to media in the US. It was released as a Target exclusive under the Dinobots Beast Machine subline, but they're releasing that as a commander class domestically in retail when they could have released Ultra Magnus and Optimus domestically at retail and made Blue Bolt a deluxe.
But then they would have to line up all of those releases together, and they never released two commander classes in the same line.
But they don't
the
have
same
to.
time.
I mean, it's just like if you look at like what they did with Motormaster. I mean, Motormaster was a commander class, and you barely saw them at retail, but you could get them online, and you had to go through 4 waves to get the Stunticons. You know, there was a waiting game for that, and you built up some anticipation.
Well, now you can buy it and you get everything all at once, and it's going to have an awesome package, and you don't have to wait. And
But I'm not buying this because
at least the amount of waffles than it would have if it was retail.
I mean, I just think that this model is I think this is a good looking figure. I'm not bashing the figure, but I think that you know, I'm taking a stand with this. I'm voting with my wallet. I know it's going to get funded.
I don't think it would have even Chrome if they made it retail release.
I would be okay as long as they use like a metallic paint, because Chrome will chip. So, you know, and if it was a retail release and you had a defect with that Chrome, you could at least exchange it in a store. I mean, we know HasLab has a bad track record when it comes to customer service. So I just look. I know this is going to get funded, but this is an absolute no for me. I would like. I love the characters, but I'm just going to be content with my originals because I can't allow, you know, again, I have to stick to my scruples here. I can't allow HasLab to do this stuff. When I say I can't allow, I mean they're going to do whatever they want, but I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to enable this sort of stuff because I think they're testing the waters and they're going to do this kind of tactic of safe bets to take advantage of their customer base. Because this is something that's also marketed on FOMO. I mean, if this was a regular retail release, you wouldn't have to cough up $250 up front,
Sure. Me, I feel like this, and this makes me a horrible person. Like I'm pretty sure this guy in this video I watched said, "F you and F the horse you rode in if you want to defend us in any way." For me, looking at this and the size of these figures and what they look like and what they can do, it definitely seems like it's, for me personally, worth it compared to Car Saver and Death Source. Because this is like two figures almost the size of Death Source. So I knew it was going to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's not that much crazy more, considering you get a whole deluxe figure also.
I don't know. I mean, if it was
I don't mind it at all. I like it. I like those figures. I mean, I like what I'm seeing, and I want it.
Look, I mean, if you like it, you win.
I didn't see the deluxe figure.
I wish it was a regular retail release. That's how I'd support it. I honestly, I think that this would be better as a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive that was imported. I think that they're trying to take advantage of fans. I think that they're trying to get people on FOMO. And I think it's ridiculous that an Optimus Prime would be part of that model. I just think that this is a really bad choice. And then also, too, I know Lance Parks in the chat. He's like, oh, well, now I'm worried that, I know he's backing this and he's getting multiples, but he's like, oh, I worry that they'll make Megatron, or Gigatron, depending on what you want to call him, this. Also, too, by making this a HasLab, they can't do the black repaint. They can't do, I mean, I don't know that they can't, but it's unlikely now that they would do any repaints. And I think that's kind of a foolish move because, a lot of people would love to have the option to get the lucky draw stuff. And I also agree with G Tony. I think $199 would be a better price point because if these are two Commander class figures that they're selling direct, no brick and mortar, you figure, okay.
But you got to be realistic. None of the if you look at it like that, none of the HasLab have been brick and mortar style prices. They've always had an extra price tag tagged on.
Oh, I think that like when it comes to like Unicron, I think Unicron made sense. That was 19 pounds. The box was huge.
I think I remember saying back then I felt like he was like $100 or $200 more than he should have been.
I would agree in a sense outside of shipping costs because that was a heavy figure and again, like you gotta figure like one Unicron takes up how much space on a FedEx truck? I mean, it's
Death Source and Star Saver were definitely $70 more than they should have been.
I think
as far as retail price.
I think Death Source was worth it for what he was. I think especially with
the whole throne and 70.
Yeah, with the throne and all the packaging that came with them, they put a lot of. I mean, that's another thing too is they put a lot of love in the packaging, and I think that.
So it's like almost like the same thing I'm saying. Opinion, you wanted that, so you.
Yeah,
so
but
you
I also think that Source was more of a risk because again, that's a figure that they likely would never make domestically. Whereas, I guess the point I was making is that in 2001, there are a lot of people that this was their entry point for Transformers.
Well, definitely. Well, I had Beast Wars, but once they started doing cars again and realistic cars, I definitely hopped onto them. They're super hard.
Yeah, and I also think that like, I wanted something like and we can refresh here because again I know this is getting back. And Chris McFeely was saying on Twitter, he's like, I don't think this is going to get back. No, this is going to get back by the weekend. I will not be backing it. And people can laugh, oh, you missed out. No, I'm not going to feel FOMO over this because I view this as abuse on Hasbro's end. I'm not falling for this. And I'll call it bullshit. And I think it's bullshit. And I just, I would like to own this, but I don't need to own this.
You might get
Well,
one from a garage sale. Somebody passes away.
all right. So
But-
my go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to say my 2 cents, just so we can kind of all of us get our point in, then we can move on with the other stuff here. Is I have no connection to this guy at all because 2001 I was underway on a vessel going to the Middle East, so I didn't get a chance to catch into any of this stuff. My re-entry was with Armada and Energon, but I can definitely see both your points. I only backed one HasLab, and that was this guy right here. And it was the fact of the excitement that everyone was saying that this wouldn't really have come out before unless it was that. So it was, as you were saying, a risk. I am wondering if, like someone said, if this is just part of this whole restructuring, they're definitely trying to find some easy wins and strike again, just like G.I. Joe, just like Star Wars, they're hitting for that nostalgia point. And T said it perfectly. As soon as he saw it, it just brought all those memories back, and that's exactly what it should do. I don't think the price is right. I do think it should be made, though. Should it be a retail?
Yeah, I think it should be made. But,
I don't know. Is it too obscure for retail purchase? Considering that,
well, we've got
Hasbro
Tiger Hawk on the shelf now. We've got, like I said, Magmatron coming. They're making rescue.
They're not $250.
Yeah,
either.
but Tiger Hawk is a $50 figure. And he was in 3 episodes. And like again, like Magmatron is the commander class. The Nemesis, people know the Arc, but people didn't really know the Nemesis, and that got a retail release. Yeah. I mean, like, look at the masterpiece scale Lunar Lander Prime. That would make sense for a HasLab, the Toyota masterpiece, but that's coming out for.
There's a question here that I can't highlight for whatever reason.
The Jonathan Walker question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Jonathan, there's nothing that they could do.
Who is it?
So Jonathan says, Zero, what could they add to have you back it? And there's nothing that they can do to have me back this. I don't think this should be a HasLab. And because I don't think this should be a HasLab, especially for the 40th anniversary, I don't think an Optimus Prime should ever be a HasLab. Maybe the Roboson Prime could have been a HasLab, but I like the way that they handled that, where it was a direct sale and you got early bird pricing. That would make more sense for this. That would make sense to say, like, hey, we're doing this Chrome version. The retail version's not going to have this. It's not going to come in this packaging. It's not going to have the sword. It's not going to have the space bridge. Treat it like they do with their SDCC stuff. Or remember, they used to do, like, they did a Chrome version of Devastator. They did Ultramax. They did Metroplex with Chrome thighs and different deco.
To me, the main 40th anniversary thing they're doing for Transformers, or the thing that's Optimus-wise, is that G1 Optimus with the extra articulation, and that's too expensive as well, without being a HasLab.
Yeah, well, that's still an import figure, and also that's a figure that they're not trying to bait you into buying it through FOMO. Because that's the thing about this. This is an Optimus Prime that you have one shot to get, and as of March 15th, you're no longer going to be able to purchase it. And I don't like that model.
Unless they open the vault again.
Yeah, I doubt they do that. Well, I mean, the vault. You also have to question what was the vault. Was the vault stuff that they had like for figures that they couldn't cannibalize, or maybe they got returned like as overstock?
They always probably make more for just in case you break something.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If they like cannibalize parts,
and people who ordered and then canceled.
Yeah.
So basically, what we're saying though is it's a very polarizing HasLab. If those that are going to get it are going to enjoy it because it does bring back a lot of memories, we'll find out. You know,
Yeah.
we'll find out
I
how
mean-
far it gets along in the campaign. I do agree it's going to get funded. Will everyone be excited and clamor for a gray, at least by the images, a gray bland stand? I don't know. I doubt it. You might get.
I think that stand is going to
sword or
be
whatever.
painted.
Yeah, the stand's probably going to be.
Yeah,
It'll
but it's very
probably
plain.
it'll probably be black.
That's
if
what I'm saying.
anything, to
It's,
look
it's
like.
a very basic item.
I can't remember what color it was on the show, the Space Bridge thing.
Yeah. I'm googling that now.
Well, we will
I
find
thought it
out.
was
I'm
gray.
sure we'll be keeping a track on this as we go along. But
Yeah,
what else we
like I
got?
said, I think this will be backed by the weekend. I'm looking up. The problem is that other Robots in Disguise cartoon mucks it up quite a bit, so it's hard to find pictures. But I think it was like a bluish gray. Well, Takara Tomy actually does have an item that is not a crowdfund, and Matt actually found this. This hasn't actually hit many or any really news sites other than surprisingly Dame Chalk picked it up, and it's I love what he's done for the community. But he's been slow on the news for a bit, so good to see him get a head on one. So this one is the 40th anniversary Karakuri Status KSO1 Convoy. Well, actually, Big M, I gotta disagree. I mean, the extras are just going to be hollow pieces of plastic. Why am I sharing everything?
Yeah, I was about to say it's showing up.
Sorry,
small.
I have an ultra
That's
wide
what he said.
monitor now, so it throws me off sometimes. So yeah, 2 commander classes and a deluxe. We're say 90, 180 plus 24. It should come in at 199. They should discount stuff, especially since, again, like they've already inflated prices well past what they should be, and there's waffles on Prime's hands. I think that they're overcharging. I think, but anyway, not to beat a dead horse.
Anyway.
Don't have any price on this.
Unicron had pancake.
Yeah, Unicron stuff was also not to be excused. But at any rate, the Karakuri Status KSO1 when I first saw this, I was like, oh, that's just, I thought this was like a reissue of the Hybrid Prime, but it's not. This guy's actually on a base and he transforms himself. So they don't have any video yet, at least in what was shared here, but you can see there's chrome. I don't know if he actually can come off of the base, but what's interesting is you see like the gun is plugged into the side of the cab. I'm really curious to see like how big this is, what it all does, and pricing. I think this is a really neat 40th anniversary item. Depending on the pricing and what all it does, I might be interested, but I may also just say like, hey, I have the Robeson and I'm good with that. But yeah, this is a neat commemorative item.
I'm good with seeing the picture and whenever the video comes up. I'll watch somebody's review.
Yeah. So it says that Takara Tomy Mall is going to be carrying this. It's coming out in the summer. It's got LEDs. But yeah, I again very curious on what all the price and the size of this is going to be, and then also too, big factor is, can he come off of the base? I'm guessing probably not.
I'm guessing over 100.
And that'll be the deal breaker for me again. I have the Robeson. I'm very, very happy with that thing. If this is like I think the line for me probably like $40. If this is like a $40 thing,
It's Japanese, so it's automatically $80.
not necessarily. You never know, because it's also, is this actually being made by
They
Takara?
sell deluxe class for like 50
Yeah.
from Japan.
No, it hasn't been that bad lately. It just depends if you're going through a site like TCP or TF Source, then yeah. But if you get them off Amazon Japan,
This is under $100.
I'd be shocked too. I'm curious. Is this, well, the one thing too is I'm guessing he probably does not come off the stand at all. But I'm curious, is this like a spring-loaded thing, or is he like, does he have like servos and stuff?
I think it's probably servos because it's supposed to talk and everything in Japanese.
Yeah. But neat thing. We'll be keeping eyes on it. It should be a interesting one as we get more info on it. Let's see. Let's get into let's get into some legacy leaks because there were a few of those that came out this week. We'll start off with what I think is the weakest one, and that is of all the stuff to repurpose. I never would have seen this coming. Saying it's the weakest one, I don't necessarily think this is bad, but they've retooled and repainted animated Prowl into Chromia. What do you guys think about this?
I like her, and I like that body mold, and I'm so happy they're not using the Prime Wars trilogy stuff anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good motorcycle alt mode.
You think this is the first one of her to not have a whole vehicle on her back?
No. In fact, I actually over here still have the Thrilling 30 Chromia, and I love this figure, but she's got a big old hunchback.
Yeah, all of her other figure had a big hunchback too.
Yeah.
No, she has a big wings, but they look better.
I will say though that this is not a very feminine body for Chromia.
And the waist goes in the middle.
She played cyber softball. It's okay.
Like Prowl had a feminine body because his waist went way in, and he had thin arms and legs. Well, this is beefier than the original Prowl, the animated Prowl. But it does have a protruding chest like they like to do for females.
Yeah. And Jedi says, I thought this was custom with the paint behind it, but it looks cool. They already used this color scheme with Javelin. Yeah, it is very similar to the way Javelin looks, though. Yeah, you do get the bike mode. And yeah, I mean, again, this guy's got it on, this looks like it could be somebody painting, but I will say that's definitely like the throwing stars and all, that's definitely unpainted plastic. So I rule it out being a custom. If this person is a customizer and did that, they're one of the best in the business. But you can see here the thighs. If this was a custom, right here where the pins are, you would see that tan plastic that was Prowl. Also, you'd probably see it on the insides, the waffling of the arms. Like there's
the biceps are regular unpainted plastic as well.
Like I think Grim Optimus is probably the most talented customizer in the business, period. And even with his customs, you can, there's little tells, like especially around the pins and in waffles, where he just can't get it. So
I'm probably going to get it, but I don't like the sky blue coloring, the powder blue coloring.
Yeah, I don't either. It reminds me very much of like a color they used to use a lot in Mega Man games on NES. And it was just what's going on?
What's the other leak? Or whatever?
So the other one is this one's an official leak, but this is a what are these guys called? I know they're like the
Infernac universe.
Infernac, there you go. So Shard is the next one that we're getting, and this is cool because we're getting a helicopter, and I really like this color scheme. He's got like kind of like the Waspinator color scheme going on.
That's what I thought when I saw it.
And I also like the fact they put a little bit of transparent. They put in a cockpit on him. They didn't have to do that. And there you go. You see him next to the other two.
Yeah, Rock Lords, huh?
Yeah, I like this picture right here. I really like. Like I can just imagine somebody using something and making the rocks come together, and then they turn into rocky vehicles and start attacking everybody.
I also like the fact that his helicopter blades are just 4 swords. I mean, these guys are kind of like the de facto weaponizers. I like too that you can give him like arm mounted swords. This guy just he's gonna be a lot of fun to mess with, and again I like that we're getting original characters, like that we're getting new stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't even use the old Rock Lord's names.
Yeah. I don't even think any of these guys, as of yet, are even direct homages, unless I'm mistaken.
No, they're all new.
So
Hasbro ain't using that Billbot stuff for crap.
And keeping along, we also get a look at the next Gamerverse figure, that being Sideswipe. And I think this looks mostly good, but I think T, you were the one that pointed out like a fatal flaw, and I think for all of these Gamerverse figures, the fatal flaw has been the feet.
Right. I didn't get the original, and this one does not look that much better than the original.
And
it's more resembling the design as far as the shoulders and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah.
And sadly, they're going to retool this to Jazz.
Even though they look completely different, I think.
Yeah. Well, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll prove us wrong. But at least he's bigger than Bumblebee and Cliffjumper.
Yeah. I found one of their swords in the parking lot at Target.
Did you take it?
Yeah. It was just sitting. I was like, that looks like. I picked it up. I was like, this looks like a Transformer weapon. So then I put it on my IG story, and people told me it was a Cliffjumper Bumblebee sword. So I still have it.
Is he skipping leg? Yeah, he is skipping leg. He's also skipping. He needs to do some calf presses because he's got some hollows. I'm sure in hand this won't look so bad.
Yeah, right there, that looks bad. Probably not on a white background.
Yeah,
on a white background, not good. I'm gonna be back real quick.
Yep. And next up, we've got some well. We've seen the Starscreamer already, so we'll skip that just for the sake of keeping stuff moving. But that 5-pack that they're doing for, I guess, Generation Select, the multi-pack, we get our first look at Wheeljack for that multi-pack. Straight up repaint of Earthrise. No, it doesn't look bad at all. But again, like my initial concerns of what's going to happen with these guys. Yeah, I really foresee people swapping out the Earthrise stuff, and it's gonna be a shit show. I'm sure on TFW you're gonna be like, some assholes swapped them all out. I too wish these were individual releases, because again, this is like Dirty Pool. Like, this is like, if you want to get Hound, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but people will do it. So
yeah, I that's kind of my resolution for this year. Is I'm not going to play their games. Like, I know people will do it. I know it will sell, but like, eventually you have to be like the one person to like say, nah, I'm good. I'm skipping it. Like, you can't just keep being addicted to Hasbro stuff like that, Like, again, I don't hate Hasbro, and Deluxe was riffing on me in here saying, Zero, he hates Hasbro. I don't hate Hasbro. I hate a lot of the decisions that they've been making lately. I do think this looks good, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, this is what we should have got before, or they should have just, hey, if you want to pad out Studio Series releases, put these out. Give people a second chance to buy them. Don't make them whose idea was it to make these a 5-pack?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I
don't know. It's so funny with Hasbro watching all the different teams, because you think there'd be some sort of unifying path that Hasbro would have with their guys, but I don't know, man. That's just everything over the past year. You've seen the great stuff that the Joe team puts together. The Transformers group did have a good round this year. I mean, Black Series is Black Series and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, the like some of the properties that they had and they just didn't do anything with, or it was really just crappy releases, honestly. You know,
What's
Yeah.
the problem
it
we're
was
talking about
yawners.
now?
And now
So-
you're seeing a lot of.
Yeah, this is the
Go
Wheeljack
ahead.
from the 5-pack, and he looks good, but it's just like, do you want to go through buying a 5-pack and then, you know, as I've been saying, my worry is that, for instance, saying I'm starting to sound like Bobby Val. I don't know. Like again, I think in every
Nah.
That 5-pack I'm waiting on. I'm sorry.
yeah, and
I
that's
have all of these figures already.
That's another thing too. Is like how are they going to sell this? If this even if this goes on Amazon, like the only way that this 5-pack will not go on clearance is if they sell it. Go on clearance or get tampered with is if they sell it through Pulse. Maybe that's their goal. Maybe this will be a Pulse exclusive. Like, hey, if you really want that Hound, this is what you got to do. But
Yeah, maybe we should stop talking about our plans with it.
but you know. Yeah, I think, as I was saying to Mike while you're away, I think this would have made way more sense to say, hey, did you miss Trailbreaker? Did you miss Sunstreaker? Because like 2 weeks ago, we looked at the Sunstreaker price. Did you somehow miss the Wheeljack mold, even though he got released in Kingdom and in Earthrise and in the Netflix? You know,
You don't own him by now. That was the first Earthrise figure I got, I think.
yeah. Because you know they're gonna want like, okay, so like they're probably
Sorry,
gonna
my
want like
camera
one.
keeps crapping out on this.
Oh, you're fine, man. They're probably gonna want like 125 or more for this pack, and then it's probably, if it goes to like Target, it's probably gonna get all the way down to like $30 or $40.
Mm.
You know.
You know, if it went to Target, I have to give them credit. They have not been full price.
Yeah. Big M says it right here. He says this 5-pack is on Amazon. It'll be return fest like no other, because I guarantee you people are going to be like, pluck the Hound out and put in another Hound, or you swap out the whole pack and send it back. Oh, it's defective. And then you'll have people getting it off Amazon and finding the figures are swapped out and a whole bunch of bullshit shenanigans. This is going to be no bueno. That, or what's the tan repaint of Hound?
Demetrius,
Demetrius, yeah. People are probably going to buy him up now, swap out the Green Hound. It's going to be a shit show. Yeah. And the people looking at it, they're just going to take it and go, oh, looks good to me. Put it back on the shelf in the warehouse. And yeah, Surround Games Go, everybody hates swappers. But it's like, I see this. I see the writing on the wall for this being like a swapper's target.
You said they're going to look at it and say, this looks good. They're not even going to look at it.
Like Vladimir Pocket, like our friend of the show, like he lives in the same area as us, and I remember he was on TFW finding, like, when they did the Cup and they did the Cliff Jumper, people were swapping them out. You know, they wanted I want the Studio Series versions, and they were swapping out the Cliff Jumper and Cup, and it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same bullshit here. It sucks.
And you can find both of those at Ross.
Yeah.
$7.
It'll be interesting to see how this year turns out.
The very
decisions that are being made are kind of questioning now, and hopefully things will right the ship, and everyone will be happy. But people suck, so
yeah. Well, let's talk about a company that they could learn from, and that they're licensing their brand out to. That being Yellow Park. So, Mike, you found this one, that Yellow Park has their AMK miniseries blind box figure, and they have a Nemesis Prime blind box. And then this looks really, really good, because these are effectively like $10 a piece.
And I never had messed with any of these, but I mean, you guys were like saying before, like they're fully articulated models, and obviously the detail looks great, and you don't have to worry about. I mean, I'm assuming everything's painted, or else it's really good plastic.
Everything looks painted.
Okay.
Yeah,
this looks pretty good.
Yeah, maybe they're using like a gloss black, but you definitely can see that silver's painted. They painted on the turquoise, the red. So,
well, right now, I can tell you after looking today, Ross and Ollie's, no bueno right now for anything good. Unless you've been waiting on the Dungeons and Dragons set from the cartoon or the movie, you're not getting anything else except.
What I saw at Ross the other day and then mentioned hardback X-Men with the Phoenix Wave. I didn't see Phoenix wasn't there. I was hoping, but I didn't see it.
Did you all see that Hasbro's selling off Dungeons and Dragons already?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Dicelings were the only line that they put out that I thought was actually good.
Those were cool.
Yeah.
Can't believe they're selling it. I thought their board game sold it.
Well, the board game sells, but the thing is they've revised it, and people. It's not the place to get into it, but longtime fans are not happy with the revisions to Pathfinder. Put it that way. Plus, with Dungeons and Dragons, like they had some fuckery with it, like where they were basically there was a big controversy about people making their own versions, and then they were not being very fan servicey with it. Now, granted, the rumor is they're selling it to 10 cent, which maybe it seems like once it's sold, people will be more upset about the direction that they take it in. But the thing about Dungeons and Dragons is if you have like an old Pathfinder set, there's plenty of resources out there for dungeon masters to make their own compelling adventures. It's really just I think Hasbro just missed a bunch of golden opportunities on how they marketed it. They could have made some really cool stuff, made some really cool boards, really cool books, some really cool DM sets, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And Big M saying Hasbro's denying it, but who knows? Yeah, a lot of it is very, very much up in the air. Let's get into our third party stuff. Got some cool Legends stuff to talk about.
Where's Matt?
I know every time we have cool Legends stuff to talk about, he's
got the plague like everyone else.
We got 3 people that had the plague.
So, since I've been using my Navage every day, I've been good. So, this is the New Age Feely, which is their wind charger and tailgate. And this looks really good. And it's like, why can't the New Age team make Masterpiece?
Didn't Magic Square make him recently?
I think they did.
I might have to look at the picture, but I think theirs looks better.
He gets his magnetic arm attachment. He gets his pistol. I mean, this is a good looking, very good looking wind charger. I'm sure Fans Toys will probably have a wind charger they tease this year, and it'll come out.
30 years.
Yeah.
And with wind charger, we get
Trailbreaker. But this is a really good looking, not Trailbreaker, tailgate. I looked over at Hoist and I screwed myself up. This is good. I mean, again, only get the blaster with them, but I think he looks appropriate. I really like this sculpt. Articulation's there. I'm sure it's a fun, straightforward transformation. It's looking good. And of course, they paired him up with their IDW-ized Cyclonus right there.
And one thing that's interesting is their arms turn into the front of the car. That looks really weird in the car mode. Look at that.
I'm sure, but given how small they are, I can forgive it.
But that might have been way easier than what X-Transbots tried.
Yeah, well, the X-Transbots ones, they did, like, I still have both of mine. The problem with the X-Transbots one is that they, the feet were really, really over-engineered.
I think my problem was, the feet. Every time I tried to transform it again by memory, and I was like, fuck it, I went back to robot mode.
Now,
I always thought the chest was the most annoying part because you had to line up those tires just right. But
Oh yeah,
To me,
kind of like
I'm never
Wally.
say type.
Yeah.
It always comes with.
yeah.
He looks good standing on the shelf.
All right. That's
These
two.
are really cool. So this is Iron Factory's Samurai series, and they're now tackling Beast Wars. So you get Megatron and Black Arachne. Megatron's a retool of Grimlock, but it works really, really well, especially since you can replicate the appropriate arms.
Yeah, retool.
Mm-hmm. It's a retool because he's got the new head.
The Black Arachne was good.
We get a Primal Cheetor and a Tigatron. I like the fact that Tigatron is not a repaint of Cheetor. That's really cool.
Mhm.
And then I'm not sure. This is their Motor Master. I'm not sure. Is Shockwave Shockwave is now just a sword, I guess. What do you call it? But yeah, Shockwave's there. He just holds a sword. It's an interesting way of creating a Shockwave. And we do have more from Iron Factory. We have a couple non-Legends things I found before we kicked everything off. But this is pulled up here. So this is from Iron Factory. It's a Legend scale drill horn and Kilbison. These guys are part of, I believe, Leo Kaiser.
Yeah.
And they look pretty good. They're big. They're big for Legends.
Hmm.
So I think if you really wanted to, you might be able to fit these in.
Wait a minute. Wait, was that a whole leg in there with them?
It
That's
appeared to
what I
be.
thought. Parts. Yeah. Maybe he just sticks on the outer side of it.
Or the inside of it. Like it might be like a hollow piece on one side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he just
slides right in. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey.
At least they don't force you to get a whole base at the end.
Exactly. And most people are going to be buying it for the combined mode, and they're going to want it to be as stable and posable as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. These look pretty good.
They look good.
Also,
that second one doesn't look as blocky and bumping into each other with his arms as the first one.
Also, we wish that Matt was here. News. I forget the name of this company, but they did the KO MMC Prime, and this is their black version of it. So this is the LTO2 Dark Edition Ares. He comes with the cape. He comes with it looks to be like chainsaw swords.
Huh.
So
is it bigger or the same size?
Yeah, this is that upscaled. That upscaled version of the mold.
He'll probably have it.
So yeah, Matt will have these all. I don't know if you guys can see it, but they did like a gradient effect on the cape.
Oh, that's cool.
Where it's like red and black, and also it looks like they added to the cape a little bit because it comes up as a hood. So I look forward to Matt's impressions of these. And was there another one? I think that catches us up on our third party stuff. So we're coming up close to time. I know we got to get through the G.I. Joe stuff. So let me see if there's any quick hits prior to the G.I. Joe stuff. Well, I guess we'll start off. We'll start off
Super 7. You can do that because that's a real quick.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but we'll do the O-Ring first because the O-Ring listings, there's nothing to show, but these have hit BBTS, and I think the pricing is kind of surprising. They're coming in at 20. So kind of in keeping with what Hasbro's doing with their vintage collection stuff. So if you are interested in getting those O-Ring, and I do know a good buddy of mine, Chris, if he's watching, he is a big O-ring collector. He collects the vintage stuff. So I know he's probably super
People
excited about
probably
it.
can't sell them for cheaper than their crappy 5 POA figures.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Anyway,
Get
Ultimates.
these. What's the story behind these?
These are the Wave 6 of the Ultimates. So these are the I think what are these 7-inch?
7-inch figures.
Yeah.
I mean, but their color scheme, because I thought they already released these cards.
Baroness is close, but I think it's with the extras, the different accessories or something with it.
This is her alternate costume too, isn't it? Since she had different costumes.
Yeah,
throughout the
I think the
seasons.
first one was black.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one that came out was black. The blue matches kind of like with the miniseries of the cartoon. She wore blue, as well as like the first couple issues of I think the Joe line. She was more.
Because isn't this more like her movie appearance? Because isn't that the
movie? She was definitely wearing black, especially the Stephen Summers one, and then we don't even want to talk about the Snake Eyes origin, but that she also wore black as well.
Oh no, I'm talking about like the animated movie.
No, she wore black. She wore black in G.I. Joe the movie. Like I said, she wore blue in the miniseries, but it wasn't exactly like this either. It's more the modern take.
She has more blue hands.
Lady J doesn't look bad, except that like neon green with a light tan. It just kind of flashes.
Yeah, it's everything kind of looks very chalk. It looks like like when you used to get a pack of chalk as a kid, it's like that looks how you would color in. It's not like pastel.
You change the tint on your old TV.
Yeah.
Same now, thing I do. I would say, can you go back to one? Because if you know Super 7 and the Ultimates and all their figures, the biggest complaint is articulation. So seeing how, even if with a single joint elbow, they're getting over 90 degrees, apparently, for her to do this throw, that is nice to see.
Yeah. Oh, that's a trick.
Not enough for me to
Her arm is 90 degrees, but she has it back like this.
Yeah, you can see that there's the mid torso twist, but yeah, like I said, I bought two Joes off of Wave 1, a Bat and the Snake Eyes, and yeah.
Their torsos are like that strong.
Yeah, it's you're not getting much anything out of it. So
yeah. I think Scarlet's a little too purple in her jumpsuit.
Slightly, yeah. That's definitely like when I see that reminds me of like old 80s comics where the printing was a little off whenever it went to the press, and what was going to be like a brown or not kind of got changed to that kind of chromatic color.
Yeah.
So if that's what they're going for, great, but no one's going to give a shit. So
they make me think of G2.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
And we got to get into the big releases that we got shown off today. This is where we're probably gonna spend the rest of the episode talking about this. So we got 6 reveals, and this is interesting.
Thanks, McLaurin. That could definitely be true. I honestly I didn't do my homework before tonight, so this is all new stuff for me.
So again, we're just getting renders here. We get Doc, and Doc looks fantastic.
Highly anticipated figure.
Yeah, I hope he is not a deluxe, because this gurney, you can tell, is just 2 pieces of plastic that.
Nah, I think he's regular.
It's gonna fold. Yeah. No, I don't know, man. It's. I wouldn't be surprised either way. Yes, he should just be a regular retail, but he does look fantastic in my opinion, and the fact that he's got a flare gun, and I don't believe that other gun is actually anything more than like maybe like a taser or something, which really sits in the whole idea of a medic.
Yeah.
Might be a gun like on Star Trek when it just injects medicine in people or whatever.
Could be.
He also is supposed to come with some surgical glove hands, I believe, which they aren't showing here.
Yeah, it says he comes with the foldable stretcher. It attaches to his back. It says he has the alternate gloved hands, a medical bag, removable pouches, holster, helmet, and his green tinted glasses. So I'm guessing the glasses are probably removable.
I think some of that
That's
stuff on the vest is modular. It might be.
And that's my concern with the glasses, because we saw how a pair turned out with Buzzer, and those were shit. And Mariano, it's not Nemesis Enforcer, it's Nemesis
Immortal.
Thank you. Now, I was catching up on Instagram afterwards when you guys were showing me these pictures, and Gridiron is flooding everyone with their add-on kit for a medic. And again, it's a beautiful looking set. I think it's like $40 for whatever they're doing. Don't quote me on that price, but I know it's Gridiron, so it's going to be a little pricey. But I think he looks great with what he's got. I think it's going to be really cool. And the next figure you have there,
Torch.
Torch, yeah.
He comes with more than he needs. He gets 2 pistols and the flamethrower with 2 different flame effects.
Three effects.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look on the gun.
Yeah, because he's got an effects piece here, one up, one to the right. Yeah. And then I guess, is there one? I guess maybe that's built into the flamethrower. I
think so. Hey, Vern.
Hey, Vern.
So is there just an individual picture?
No,
here we go.
I mean,
hopefully...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I like that the small effect you can just have on the tip of it. So it shows that it's on without shooting.
Mm-hmm. Now, again, this is a really good attempt. Hopefully, they learn from Buzzer and also from Ripper, because Ripper, while better, had some quirks as well. The only thing that looks weird, at least with this render, are the boots. They look, it's like the taper goes really weird on them.
Are they Dr. Mindbender boots?
That's what I was just thinking. They look the same.
Exactly where I was going. So, but now hopefully, if they're smart with these,
they're reuse of Mindbender's boots, and it looks like the legs are reused as well.
Those could be Buzzers, upper legs. Now, hopefully, the flame effects are going to be somewhat translucent. Hopefully, or they do a really good job blending with the airbrush on it. But
I think they will be.
It looks identical from the hip down.
Yeah. With the what?
From the hip down, it looks identical to this.
Oh yeah.
So, you see his tattoos on his arms?
Yeah,
I was looking at some of the close-ups on it. Yeah, I mean, now that they did it right with rock and roll, everyone and their brothers getting tattoos apparently. So, whatever. But I'm just happy that we're going to have the original 3 finally released, and then we have Xandar coming out as well, and Naga Hide. All right, there's your deluxe.
Yeah, definitely going to be a deluxe there.
Yeah. Again, using a lot of reuse between Shadow Tracker and Low Light, it definitely makes sense, because both those figures, the stuff, especially with Shadow Tracker,
that machete's new though.
He definitely has to be beyond deluxe. He's going to be the $44 one.
You think?
I don't.
Yeah,
think
he's going to be the same price as Mutt and Junkyard, because that big thing definitely has to be as big as Junkyard almost.
Because Yato just looks like he's just going to be a static piece of plastic that'll probably
that's what I was wondering.
Slightly pliable to maybe perch on his arm or perch on the back work belly.
That bore has a lot of articulation now.
Hopefully.
I could see 3 joints in each leg.
Yeah.
So
she looks good. She looks real good.
I like the fact that she's getting a unique weapon, and they're not just throwing in Akiko's shitty weapon as they're as they had been doing.
I like that, and she has fists.
Hands. Yep.
Yeah.
She has
2 head options. So she technically is what I'll be asking for. Multiple hands and 2 different faces.
Yep.
Night Creeper.
Hey, no Viper. Or I'm sorry, Jesus. Someone stop me. Night Creeper.
Yeah.
This guy looks, this is another really cool looking sculpt. You know, it would be neat if they could do a little bit of soft good for like the hood for it. Not expecting it, but that'd be a nice little thing, especially if you have the alternate head. Maybe that's kind of like the faceplate type of swap out, which would be cool.
Hard to
I
say.
feel like
I think it'll be pop off the head with the hood,
think?
and then put the other head in there.
No. Now, if they only fix the head articulation, where we don't have to slice the hell out of the neck joint to actually get the head to look up,
Right.
would be golden.
It says alternate head. It doesn't say anything about faceplate. So
Okay.
It more than likely will be like kind of like what you've done for like I don't know, like snow job's a good example where you can just, this piece here is going to be pliable plastic and you pop it all off and then you feed the other head through. Let me get back there, and then I guess our final one. Let's see. Do they have a solo shot of the
two?
Yeah, I mean, I guess probably our best bet's going to be.
I thought his tank had or you're on there now.
Yeah, I'm on his tank. I mean, this is like the least exciting of them all. I mean, I like the fact that we're getting a it sucks because they knew what they were doing, giving us a more accurate roadblock there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're getting a Tiger Force tripwire and roadblock, and this is a 2-pack. So I'm curious what they're going to.
That roadblock has been released before, but he didn't come with that accurate gun.
No, well,
Right.
Now that we got the 60th anniversary guy, I mean, that's
Was that roadblock face shown off before? Let me see if I can find
Yeah.
a picture.
Yeah, that's the same one. It
Okay,
wasn't.
that's-
I'm shocked they didn't make it a card back figure. But he came with the gun that came with the bike. I keep forgetting the name of the bike. The bike that Duke comes with.
the what now?
The Tiger Force Duke that comes with the bike.
Yeah, he came with the Gatling gun, but I don't recall. I know he had like the helmet and all, but I don't recall.
No, that was the same face.
That's the same. Yeah, that's the same face. Now is that bottom
He had
part?
some type of paint on it. You can barely see because he's so dark skinned.
Yeah.
But he has 2 stripes on his face, it looks like.
No, I mean, I'm surprised,
Yeah, I
but
guess
yet
it is the
not,
same.
because with Tripwire was very, very quick, I guess, in regards to like the review scheme, where some people had him, and then all of a sudden, he was out of sight, out of mind,
Yeah,
which was
'cause
surprising because I thought he had a lot of really cool accessories.
I think I got a spare and I sent it to Dave, if I remember correctly. So I think Dave got his through me.
Lance, I'm sorry, man. Your idol, yeah, he doesn't look like that. Darn.
Sure doesn't. Only thing that looks the same is he's bald and he has black in him.
Right.
So, well, I mean, this is a good mix of stuff, because I think one of the criticisms that has been said with the classified line sometimes is that their focus was a little all over the place.
Yeah.
But filling out these teams, especially the Dreadnoughts, because they've been so popular. Which again, if they're going to do a HasLab, Thunder Machine would be fantastic, especially if this vamp is successful, because we are seeing a lot of vehicles being represented this year, and I think everyone's tired of like the smaller stuff. So, if there's anything as iconic as the Hiss tank, the Thunder Machine would be a nice addition. And the reason why I say a Hiss tank or a HasLab is, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it. If you could do lights and sounds on it, that would be awesome. So,
They want sound.
no, I know, but
What character should it come with?
what's that?
What character should it come with?
Well, I mean, you're gonna get the now you're the Thrasher. You got to get him off the jump with that. So that's a definite. You could do Monkey Wrench if you wanted to, but I think he's already planned to be another retail release anyway, because you don't want to lock that. they made it smart with the Dragonfly. They didn't lock popular characters behind the tiers. You could do Zanzibar, but again, Zanzibar was kind of with that water skiff as well.
Wild Bill is popular,
Yeah,
but I think they said they're going to do another release of him, right?
possibly. I mean, they said the same thing, with the Cobra Commander. It's just a question of when. But it would be it would be a cool opportunity to kind of make new characters, because I think that's another challenge that Hasbro is really going to face, is that we've been hitting nostalgia for however many decades of collecting. You need to start putting some new things out there, come up with some new mythos. If not, you're going to turn people to other companies that are doing something new and different.
Yeah, I agree.
You're not going to get new collectors if you're not giving them something new that doesn't require 2 days of research to figure out the whole story. People don't have time or attention for that anymore.
It's funny. Our friend George, Plastic Addict, he's the opposite of that. Anything that's not the old character, he doesn't want. So he doesn't want Shooter, even though she's cool. Agent Haley, or any of the newer stuff.
But I think you can do both. Like, you can appeal to the old and you can appeal to the new. I mean, the thing I think you're getting at, Mike, is that like one day we're gonna, we're all gonna die out. How do you keep this stuff alive?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, right now especially with the Joe line, I'll say, it's all writing off of old guys' memories of things when they were running home from school and wanting to watch TV. You're not having that anymore. You're not having. I mean, my niece and nephew here, they play with stuff a little bit, but there's no connection with it. Yeah. So you need to start innovating. You need to start mixing some of the old with the new, in my opinion. And that's how you're going to stay relevant. That's how you're going to stay solvent.
Yeah. So, I mean, you look at, I think Spider-Man's a good example, because like when I was a kid, Venom was relatively new, Carnage was relatively new, and they injected new life into Spider-Man, and it was, for me being younger, I was like, oh man, Venom and Carnage, anything that they were in, and now kids today, it's like Miles Morales, anything he's in, they want,
exactly.
They're good at they've been good at doing that with Spider-Man in particular, and I would love to see it for G.I. Joe, and I'd love to see it for Transformers. And a lot of people love to shit on Beast Wars, but Beast Wars, in my opinion, was Beast Wars and animated, because animated introduced Bulkhead as a new character.
Yes.
And, Lugnut, and those are two beloved characters.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. I mean, at least you love them or hate them. I fall into the camp of not loving the Bay movies, but, Drift debuted in IDW, didn't really make an impact, but a lot of people know Drift from the movies now.
Right.
The Fallen is the same sort of deal.
People probably went. So. But we got off of G.I. Joe, but one thing I hope, I pray that they do for the anniversary, a Sigma 6 heavy duty, but 6-inch, and maybe he can have cloth pants like the Sigma 6 did.
Yeah. So, one thing, I know we're getting close to time here, but one thing we didn't mention was with conventions and stuff, we got some new information about
BotCon,
the second popular Transformers convention. And yes, I'm the one bringing it up. It's kind of scary, but we found out where BotCon 2024 is going to be held at, and that is in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Are you guys interested in going?
I like. It's Indiana. That's
like saying it's in Utah.
All right. I mean, I am a lock for. I mean, I have no excuse to not go to TFCon 2024. That's a lot.
Wait, when you say that, which one? Obviously, I know what you're talking about, but
Baltimore.
There's 3 to choose from.
Yeah. Baltimore, it's in our backyard, so we're locked in for that. I do want to go to GalaxyCon in Richmond, and that's like, I think that's going to be like the last opportunity, possibly, for me to meet Peter Cullen.
Okay.
So that's like my whole goal to go there, is to meet Peter Cullen, to shake his hand.
When is that again?
That is in March, so it's slowly approaching. We're in February, so if you guys want to go, I would love to get a road trip going, because Peter Cullen's only going to be there Saturday and Sunday, so I prefer to go on the Saturday, so we wouldn't even have to take off work.
Yeah, I'll check that out, man. So but I mean, I have no interest in going, because again, it's Indiana, but I went to BotCon, my first BotCon last year when I was up in Jersey. It had some good parts. Much more, I guess, intimate for those that are involved with more of that group than what you see with a more broad and big aspect of a TFCon. But for those who want to go and get something cool, I'm sure there's going to be some interesting exclusives.
It seems like they've bifurcated the exclusives a little bit. It seems like the Beast Box exclusives and the X-Transbots exclusives are landing there. Shout out to Hanny from Agabus. He's been doing a lot behind the scenes to get those connections made, and
again, this is no small little doing thing. So I mean, it's good that you have
their logo.
Absolutely.
I think Deluxe said he's going to be there. Deluxe, if you're still in the chat. But yeah, for me, it's definitely going to be GalaxyCon and TFCon, maybe AwesomeCon in DC, and probably Baltimore Comic Con in the summer.
Yeah,
for this year.
Well, and again, RetroCon up in Sparks has been really good too. If you're interested, in that.
Especially if the gaming front. Yeah.
Yep. So again, conventions coming through. ZolaCon's coming to Pennsylvania end of this month.
Yeah.
So
Sony, the three of us will be there.
Yeah, and I know speaking, I know Sony's on there. There's been a lot of discussion on trying to make that event a little more
Baltimore
open to different groups, or open to groups that have gotten together and created relationships on Facebook and whatnot. So, I'm sure more information will be coming out over the year on that. But again, Baltimore, when they were there, I mean, or when that's my first one. That's where I got to meet you guys face to face. I thought it was a really cool convention. Especially right after COVID and everything. I thought there's a lot of access availability for everything. So,
this time, more than Lance and I are going to Fogo. So, brace yourselves. We're doing Brazilian Steakhouse.
Okay.
I'm not going to Baltimore. It's too far.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Well, you better not Uber there, because God, we'll never see you then.
Yeah, right.
I didn't mention that earlier when the how you doing. I had an Uber driver earlier who tried to almost kidnap me. She was taking so many wrong turns, and then when I was telling her what turn to take, she refused to do it. I was like, "Please, let me out of this car."
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. What are we closing out on, guys?
Yeah. So just if you guys got anything coming up review wise, you want to shout out.
Well, T, you want to go first, man?
Sunman. I just filmed that before we started this. So, yay, Sunman. Big of color.
Cool. I mean, I'm trying to finish out Series 4 for Action Force. And catch up with a lot of stuff that is still sitting here from last year that I haven't really touched. But like I said, this week has been really awesome, and it's gotten me kind of motivated to put together a plan for the channel, and definitely trying to get things together. If I hit the numbers I want to hit, I'm definitely trying to find or get some stuff together for some giveaways, a live stream again. Because it's just a lot of it's been enjoyable. So, yeah, keeping busy. I got stuff going on back here that I didn't want to show, but the green screen was an extra.
Drive the mic and get them to 500, and then stay subscribed.
So, but again, it's been doing a lot of stuff. We got Chinese New Year coming up, so there's going to be a bit of a drought for everyone. That
Not only that, but QC issues abound. That's another reason. Like I've been like, I don't want to get anything. It's interesting though. I'm curious. I know Matt got the X-Transbots fast. Spoilers. Yeah. And apparently the quality on that is good. And I'm like, what the?
Well, I mean, look, I'm glad he's happy.
I am
we'll
too.
Say that. I don't want to start another argument or listen to some BS about stuff. So if he's happy with his purchase, that's all that counts. Just like Steph Curry walking back and forth.
All right. Well, that being said, I think that'll do it for.
Spoiler review for Fast will be up tonight from Mr. Hale Hasbro himself. So that's awesome. Check out Matt's channel, guys, if you haven't already, and you already do. So, give him some love.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your review there, Deluxe. I'm curious what you're going to say about it.
He's going to say he loves.
Man, I love Transformers. That's the good thing.
Hey guys.
And Kev's calling you out here. He's saying, T-Man, you don't even watch basketball.
But it looked like it.
Anyway, that'll do it for tonight's show. Thanks to all of you guys who tuned in. If you haven't already, make sure you slam that like button because it helps us out in the algorithm. If you're not subscribed, maybe consider making today the day we earn your subscription. And if you do subscribe, make sure you ring that notification bell. If you're watching us on the replay, drop us a comment. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what you're looking forward to, whether you're interested in the Omega Prime HasLab. If you have any thoughts or feelings, opinions, share it out because we check out our comments. That'll do it for tonight. We'll see you all same time, same channel next Thursday, 9 o'clock
like button.
Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.